Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Royal biographer Ingrid Seward told the Mirror, the Duke of York's close links to the alleged Chinese spy Yang Tengbo have come at a most inopportune moment. Christmas for the royals is the only time in the year so many of them get together under one roof. The multiple scandals he has been associated with have embarrassed his family and made him a subject of ridicule, although when the Queen was alive, he was partially protected by her devotion. His irresponsible behavior and dubious friendships have exasperated his older brother for some time now, but nothing has been quite as damaging to the monarchy as Andrew's current situation. It involves the British government, MI6, and the Chinese government. It almost sounds like a television spy special. Can the king dismiss his brother? He will leave it up to his advisors to deal with that. That is why kings throughout history have surrounded themselves with what we now call grey men. A royal source added, the king and other members of the family are as exasperated as can be with the Duke with this latest issue. It is of grave embarrassment to him and the institution. Royal author Phil Dampier told The Sun, the fact that this guy obviously inveigled himself into Prince Andrew's circle and was seemingly in and out of Royal Lodge is a worry for the security services. Who knows what a spy might stumble across? It's a very big scandal. Certainly the problem for Andrew is that on top of this scandal, he was involved with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. It's not a very good look. It's backfired on him dramatically. And on top of the Epstein thing, it's kind of a final nail in the coffin, really. In The Guardian, Marina Hyde writes under the headline, Pity the Royals, how could they possibly have seen this coming? Marina writes, no matter how much you try to digest the implications of the alleged Chinese spy scandal, some details are just comically indigestible. Take the fact that Prince Andrew has somehow contrived to find staff even stupider than him. Here is one senior aide called Dominic Hampshire writing in March 2020 to the Chinese businessman with whom the Duke of York has found himself unfortunately entangled. Outside of Andrew's closest internal confidants, you sit at the very top of a tree that many, many people would like to be on. Sorry, it's this March 2020, a full 4 months after the four-dimensional pile-up that was Andrew's Newsnight interview, which was followed immediately by the Duke's own mother sacking him. Dominic, there were ventilators that people would rather have seen on that tree. Anyway, if you're just joining us after a news fast, I'm afraid that Prince Andrew may have let the wrong one in again. If the Duke's mate does turn out to be a spy, it feels a little too easy and a lot too convenient to blame this latest calamitous episode for Andrew solely on him. After all, the thing about spies is they are supposed to be quite hard to detect. If it can be a struggle for the security services to identify who is a spy to a suitable threshold of proof, then it's unlikely to be a doddle for the dimmest member of a family internationally recognized for its dimness. Obviously, the international sex trafficker should have been a somewhat easier one for Andrew to spot. I guess the biggest clue was that one, the guy whose New York house he went to stay at in 2010, was that Jeffrey Epstein had quite literally just finished serving a grotesquely plea-bargained jail sentence for soliciting girls as young as 14 for sex, if only there'd been signs, etc. But speaking of signs, if only there had been some before this week that could have indicated to the royal family that Andrew was permanently unsuited to activities involving either judgment or money. He should really have been forcibly retired from both these arenas in the mid-1990s. After all, strange things involving foreign money and influence have been happening to him for decades. His previous trade envoy job, though seemingly concocted to get him flown around international golf courses on the public dime without arousing too much criticism, in fact ended up taking him willingly into the orbit of some of the world's least appealing dictators and political operators. All of this, and so much more, has long been known to the royal family, who, with the obvious sole exception of Andrew himself, are more responsible for his permanent liability status than anyone. Yet again, the king and his so-called firm find themselves at a fork in the road. Either they let Andrew carry on trying to seek his fortune in the real world, or they pay for him to a level sufficient to close him down. Those are the only two choices left. The family very deliberately shut off the Third Avenue, allowing Virginia Giuffre's claims against Andrew to be tried and tested in open court. Instead, they felt the wiser option was to retreat into their money and settle behind closed doors for many millions of dollars. In the absence of allowing some form of justice to at least play out and exonerate Andrew or not, the fork they should now take is using more of that money to pay entirely for their black sheep. This mad situation where a proven liability is forever grubbing around grim regimes and their operatives is ultimately of their making. Why should the people of this country be exposed to unknown security risks simply because King Charles thinks it looks bad to keep Andrew in palatial grace and favour splendour and not have his courtiers leak an Andrew set to be turfed out of Royal Lodge story thrice yearly? It does look bad, but it was the family's choice. Let them own it. The cost to the state of investigating this latest foul-up by Andrew probably runs into many millions. The Crown might consider itself lucky again not to have those billed to it too. Palace Intrigue will be right back. Harry and Meghan shared their holiday card, which features the children and the family's 3 dogs. The card warmly reads, "On behalf of the Office of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Archibald Productions and Archibald Foundation, we wish you a very happy holiday season and a joyful new year." Harry's father, Charles, is the head of the Church of England, which is gearing up for Christmas this holiday season. Princess Anne also shared her annual Christmas card featuring a striking photo of herself and husband Sir Timothy Lawrence riding in a carriage following a service at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle. The card's message reads simply, "With best wishes for a happy and peaceful Christmas and New Year from Anne." In the image, the possible former royal secret sex bomb cuts a regal figure in her dark blue velvet garter robes, complete with white gloves and a Tudor-style hat adorned with plumed ostrich feathers, while Sir Tim looks sharp in a formal morning suit and top hat. Anne and Sir Tim quietly marked their 32nd wedding anniversary on December 12th. True to form, the Princess Royal remained busy with engagements in Norfolk and Suffolk, showing no signs of slowing down even as the holidays approach. Comedian Matt Ford divided opinion during the Royal Variety performance after he opened his set with a personal revelation about his cancer diagnosis. Entering the stage with a crutch, Ford explained his health journey, telling the audience, "Just over a year ago, I had terrible nerve pain in my leg. I went to get an MRI scan. I was diagnosed with cancer." He quickly lightened the mood, quipping, "I'm telling you this mainly just to get you on side, because I'm going to impersonate a few politicians now, and if I insult one you like, just remember, I've been very brave." Ford, who also confirmed he is now cancer-free, proceeded to deliver impressions of figures like Keir Starmer and Donald Trump. While some viewers praised his performance as funny and engaging, others found his initial remarks to be poorly judged, particularly given the context. King Charles, who was in attendance, had reportedly been undergoing cancer treatment this year, a fact that didn't go unnoticed by critics. One viewer commented, "Is a joke about cancer really the way to start a comedy routine? It certainly did not get me on his side." Another added, "As a cancer survivor, I'm amazed Matt Ford thought it appropriate to use his diagnosis as the basis for jokes, given what the royal family has gone through this year. Tasteless." Others felt the timing was off, saying, "A cancer joke with the king watching? Bit tasteless." Still, there were those who appreciated Ford's humour, with one audience member remarking, "Funny guy, Matt Ford," and another calling his impressions spot on. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice, and leave some stars or a review if you're enjoying the show. Don't forget, you can get this show, along with hundreds of others from Calaroga Shark Media, commercial-free. Makes a great Christmas gift. It's only $4.99 a month. All the details are in the show notes or episode notes. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.